All right, so we're going to learn about radio speaking, which is the second limited prep speech event that you will get to do at the start of the season. So your very first speech and debate tournament will be Rocky Mountain at the beginning of November. The novice tournament just has debate. So the first two tournaments that you'll have both speech and debate, you can do impromptu, which you learned last week, radio, or retold, and we'll learn retold next week. So radio is a limited prep event, which means it's not fully memorized and it's different from round to round. So in radio broadcasting, you are a radio show host for like a talk news radio station or for a small segment of the radio that could be like between music or something. So you're a radio host, and if you think about radio hosts, they're all like big personalities. So that's what you are in radio. Usually you have a theme of your radio show, and then you kind of follow that theme throughout. In radio, normal radio on the radio station, they have really strict time limits. They have to speak for a certain amount, and then their song starts automatically. So they have to really time things well, which is a portion of this speech event. So radio broadcasting, the time limit is 5.5 to 6 minutes. And make sure you're taking notes on this because you're going to do a radio. So radio is 5.5 to 6 minutes, and you can't go under and you can't go over. So you're able to use a timer and have it next to you. The cool thing about radio broadcasting is radio is supposed to be about your voice, right? That you just listen to somebody on the radio. So you actually face away from your judge in radio broadcasting, and you don't stand up, you sit at a desk because they're just supposed to listen. So you're able to have your notes and your timer out in front of you so that you can make sure that you're in time and you're saying everything you need to. One of the fun parts about radio is you get to make an original commercial. So this can be on a real product, it can be on a fake product that you make up. I had somebody do a really fun commercial about hydrogen to oxygen, or H2O, or water. And so they made this whole commercial about how it's pure and 100% no additives and will help you live, and it was really funny. I've also seen people do commercials on like real products like M&Ms or something. Oftentimes they'll fit their commercial with their theme of their radio station. So if your radio station is all about cowboys radio, so people that own ranches and stuff, or ranchers radio, your commercial probably isn't going to be on like lipstick. It's probably going to be on something like a cattle brander or a thing that you put on your horse. And so it's going to relate to your radio theme. You write this commercial, it has to be original. You can't take the script of an already created commercial. So you write this and it's word for word, and you get to bring it into your radio round. So the only thing that stays the same from each radio round is your theme and your commercial. Then before each round, you have 30 minutes to prepare. And at the start of your preparation time, they give you a stack of articles, and you get to choose 3 of the articles from that during your 30 minutes of preparation, and you're going to use those 3 articles in your radio. So you're going to take the articles and you're going to highlight them down like you would an evidence card. So you're going to choose what to read, and then you would only read the highlighted stuff during your radio because you have about a minute per news story. And if you read just a news article, it's going to take you way longer than a minute. So you want to choose the best stuff, highlight it, and a lot of times people bring like scissors or tape into a radio round if they have physical materials, because they can tape it to a new sheet of paper to make it a little bit easier to manage during the radio. So this is the structure that you definitely need to know and write down for a radio. You start your timer, and then you start with a call sign. A call sign is like how you open a radio show. Thanks for listening to the morning show. This is Brad and Tara on your Z103 morning. That's a call sign. Or, that was a great show. Thanks for tuning in to 5WP radio. Or, it's a beautiful day in America. Thanks for listening to 1776 America Radio. All America, all the time. Something like that. That's a call sign. You need to give your radio station a name. And then you're going to go to your first story. You're going to talk about it. And it's going to be a story. You never want to call it an article, because when you say news out loud, it's a story. When you read news, it's an article. You go to your first story. You can talk about it a little bit after, but your news story should take about a minute. Then you're going to go to your next news story. It also is a minute. Then you're going to go to your commercial. You can do some sort of segment like, and we'll be back after a word from our sponsors. Then you'll go to your commercial. Remember, you have it pre-written, ready to go. After your commercial, you're going to go back to your radio show. Now that we've learned about so-and-so, let's talk about our next story. And it could like transition to it, or you can say, and we're back onto our final news story of the day. You'll go to your third story. Your third story needs to be the one that you could talk about the most, the one that you're the most interested, or the one that has the most viewpoints surrounding it. Because after you do that story, you have what's called commentary. And you have to talk about this story for 1 extra minute after you're done reading the story. So commentary, you could talk about 2 different sides of the issue. You could bring up issues with the story, like why did they talk about this? There's all of these problems that it's not addressing. So that's what commentary is. And you need to talk about commentary for at least 1 minute. Cannot be shorter than a minute, but it really shouldn't be longer than a minute and a half. After your commentary, then you sign off. We'll be back tomorrow with more All America All the Time news. I'm Brad, and this is Tara, and we'll see you tomorrow, or something. Or thanks for tuning in to 1776 Radio. Or that's enough of the news for today. Enjoy this new breakout hit from Lady Gaga, or something. So you sign out and you're done. You need to end your speech within 5.5 to 6 minutes, and you should have your timer out with you. So you're going to practice this today. You're going to get articles. You're going to time yourself for 30 minutes, and then you're going to record a radio show. So let me know if you have any questions.